Welcome back to The Money Show. People tend to delay their investments each day to the following day with a mindset that it hardly makes any difference if the investment is delayed by 24 hours. But delayed investment could turn out to be expensive. You would be missing out on the power of compounding and the chance to let your money make more money for you. And so on The Money Show today, we will discuss the cost-delayed financial planning with Mrin Agarwal, founder director at FinSafe. A very good evening, Mrin, and always a pleasure having you on the channel. So let me first start asking you that how do people procrastinate their financial decisions and what your experience has been?
Good evening, Shrishti, and likewise, it's always great to be on this show. Well, financial decisions are not only about investing, it's also about budgeting. It's also about, how you manage your loans, right? So I think, some of the ways that people procrastinate their financial decisions, I would start with budgeting, because if we are not saving enough, then, we just don't have enough to invest. So if, it could be about, not wanting to basically set up a budget or not wanting to basically stay on a budget, right? Of course, not saving for retirement. You look at any survey today, it talks about how less than 10% of people surveyed are actually saving for retirement, and most of them are delaying their retirement savings because of various factors. Again, not being serious about paying EMIs on time. This is another thing that I'm seeing, that a lot of times people are not serious about it because they don't understand the impact of the cost, the interest cost on their overall financial well-being. Many a times people tend to have financial plans, and they work with a financial planner to develop a plan. But when it comes to implementing the plan, most people tend to put it off. Again, there are a lot of surveys on this. So I think it's about, the fact that you're really not willing to take those difficult financial decisions. And of course, another big one where we see a lot of procrastination, and of course, I talked about it in the retirement aspect as well, is the fact that people tend to focus on the immediate goals and do not focus on the long-term goals. So these are some of the ways and areas in which people are actually procrastinating on their financial decisions.
Okay, but Mrin, post knowing the reasons, what should be the strategy going ahead? How should one catch yourself procrastinating, and what should be the steps taken on that front?
Well, firstly, I think it's important to understand what are the reasons for the procrastination. Is it because you don't know where to start? Like many a times, I have seen in my own sessions, people attending sessions, and they say, okay, it's fine. It's great to invest in mutual funds, but how do I start? Right. And many a times people find it difficult to even figure out that, okay, do I go with my bank account, or do I go for an online platform, or do I go for MF Central? What do I really start with? So I think, the starting trouble is there for a lot of people where they're not sure where to start. Lack of time. Of course, you have to figure out what is stopping you from doing this. Is it because you don't know where to start? Is it because you're not able to give the time? Again, many a times people are not willing to accept what somebody has told them, and they're afraid of discovering the truth. And that's what again leads them to delaying decisions. So for example, if you tell a person that you've got so many loans, why don't you list down all the loans, see what is your interest outgo? Even a thing as simple as that, people may not do because they're scared to see what the outcome is going to be. And similarly, also where financial planning is concerned, a lot of times people do not start saving for retirement or doing financial planning because they believe that they don't have enough to invest. Of course, again, with all the information that we have today, it can lead to a lot of confusion, and also the fact that you might be afraid of failing. So this is another very big aspect that delays people from taking financial decisions. So for example, let us say that you're having a stock portfolio and some of the stocks are doing really badly. It's because you are afraid of failing. Because of that, if you're not selling off the stocks, then you're only making things worse in the portfolio, right? So you have to examine what could be the possible reason for the procrastination. Why is it that you're putting off the decision? And I think you have to get around this particular reason and set some deadlines to say, okay, I'm going to do this by this date, right? So I think these are the two ways that you have to look at the various aspects of financial planning or your financial life and then bring about the change out there.
Okay, Mrin, but how to rectify the damage done by procrastination, and what will be your take on this one, and how can one procrastinate your financial decisions that can actually cost you? What your experience has been on that front, and post this we'll let you go on that.
Okay. All right. So I think, I've just shared some data, right? And the first thing is I want to talk about the costs of procrastination, right? So if you look at it, like if you're 25 today and you're starting a SIP that you're of 5,000 rupees per month, which you're keeping for 35 years, it'll actually grow to 1.91 crores. And I've assumed a return of 10% per annum, not a very high return, right? But let's say you start investing only at the age of 45 because of all the reasons for procrastination. And even though you are investing a higher amount, which could be 20,000 rupees per month for the next 15 years, you'll still end up with only 83 lakhs, right? So this is the cost of procrastination, that you completely lose out on the compounding, and you lose out, on that time that you can actually remain invested and grow your money. You lose out on that. The second cost, and this is another very important aspect. Before I come to the loan aspect, a lot of people who put off insurance decisions, especially health insurance decisions, it's not only life insurance decisions. You may not be able to get the insurance at a later point in time, or the premium could be very high, right? Both situations could arise. But look at what happens to loans, right? So I have just taken an example, and this is very common, for a person to have a credit card due of 50,000, a card loan for 10 lakhs, a personal loan for 5 lakhs. If you look at it, some assumptions we've made out here on the loan interest rates, if you look at it, basically what is happening is that after 10 years, even though you are investing some amount of money, at the end of 10 years, your net value is actually negative because the interest costs have compounded.
Yeah.
Right. So this is procrastination cost of not, taking care of your loans. Right.
Okay.
And I think this is what people need to work on. They need to take out an Excel, work on this Excel. They need to accept the situation, work on this particular Excel.
And then maybe find a decision. But Mrin, sorry for interrupting, because we're just completely out of time for this discussion. But great having you, and great having your take it that how should people look at this procrastinating their financial needs and then go about it. Thank you so much for joining us today.